Hello, Watem here. Welcome back to some more Umineko When Seagulls Cry. Let us continue.
しかし、赤き真実なきが人間の世界。人間の世界に信用できることなどありません。
そうね。レアとは確かに殺したわ。でも、人間の世界では生きていることになっているのかもしれない。本当に生きているのかどうかはともかくね。
実は生きていたというのですか？あの高さからあの岩場に転落して。
わからぬ。だが落ち着け。そやつがどうそなたを憎もうとも真実は事故だ。そなたを恨もうなどお門違いもいいところよ。
でもたとえ指一本触れていないとしても、私は心の中で。
Unless you actually did do something, then no.
落ち着け。19年前の男が何を恨もうと叫ぼうと、そなたを追及できる罪などあるわけもない。だから落ち着け。19年前の男はわらわの来客として迎えてやろうぞ。
Please, I want to know who it is.
気分の謎を解かれ、お役はごめんかと思っていた矢先だ。わらわの最後の客としてもてなしてやらねばな。
面白くなってまいりましたな。ゴールドスミス教の秘密を守るのに加え、19人目の来客、さらに19年前の男とは。
そうね。金蔵が生きてると主張する私たちにとってエリカは19人目ね。その19人目の駒に19年前の男。
Except the number of people on the island is equal to the number of people in the room, the parlor. Technically, someone could be hiding. And I don't like how they worded the red text there. But should be 18 people on the island. So someone is pretending to be this person from 19 years ago, perhaps related to them, and perhaps Basler is that same child. There was something that name Rudolph had wanted to sell Battler in the first episode, wasn't there? And then he ended up dead when they wake up in the morning. Can't remember what the wording was, but I do feel like there was something similar that was said. That felt like he was going to die. Has Rudolph? Yes, Rudolph has survived in the third game. Until he went to the mansion. But he did survive the first Twilight. He didn't tell Battler then, so I wonder.
面白いじゃない。ワクワクするわ。相手にとって不足なし。わらわの茶会の来客が一人では物足りないと思っていたところよ。来るがよい、愚か者どもめ。
Rudo Erica is Lady Baron Castell's piece. In that case, whose piece is the man from 19 years ago? Voice faintly seeping from the other end of the line. Natsuhi's.
わかりました。今すぐ出ます。部屋も出ます。電話も出ます。だから夫と娘には。
Even this begging scream, which would shake the heart of any listener, would could be listened to with a cold ruthlessness through the other end of the receiver.
母さんが俺の約束を守る限り、あんたの秘密は守ってやるよ。約束を破るなよ。
So it's an analog signal. Should transmit more information, and so you'd be able to hear more detail of their voice. So if it's someone she knows, she should maybe be able to recognize it.
俺はもうお前のすぐ近くにいる。部屋の明かりが消えるかどうか、そして電話をしているかどうかさえ、俺には手を取るようにわかるんだ。俺さえ望むなら、あんたの寝顔にキスすることだってできるんだからな。
So yes, actually, if actually the main card could have been planted well before the family conference, because how often is she going to lift up the various objects in the room in order to find them? Being placed in advance, and then whoever's calling is aware that Eric is on the island, or knew that Eric would be planted on the island.
守ります。
They aren't necessarily on the island. It is possible for them to not be on the island.
約束は守ります。
Perhaps someone related to the servant that presumably also died.
だからやめて、もうやめて、やめて。
The receiver was slammed down. He knew very well that the way you hang up a phone can leave a nasty aftertaste for the other side.
じゃあね、おやすみ、母さん。
Okay, Lambda Delta.
はい、一丁上がり。これで夏日は今夜は部屋から出てこないわ。
器用ね。あんた、声を変えられるの？
Let's say it in red that Natsui didn't leave her room that night.
声くらい誰だって変えられるわよ。パパにおねだりの時は甘い声。学校休む時は風邪っぽい声。実は嫌いな友達に断る時は申し訳なさそうな声。
お望みなら？
どんな声でも。
使い分けて。
見せるけど。
あんた、魔女やめたら声優になるといいわ。
Should voice act the witch.
これでお互い駒の準備は OK かしら？フルドエリカ。なかなか素敵な駒じゃない。エンジェなんかよりはるかにベルにふさわしい駒だわ。お褒めに預かりまして光栄です。ラブダデルタ卿。こちらこそよろしくよ。素敵だわ。本当に可愛い。魔女幻想に屈服させて、その顔を屈辱に歪めてやりたいわ。
Lambda Delta is as twisted as ever.
だそうよ。私に恥をかかせないでよね。エンジェよりはるかに使える駒だってことを見せてちょうだい。
お任せを。ベルンカステル卿、我が主。私はあのようなネクラで低能で可愛げのかけらもない駒とは違います。
Wow.
本当よね。エンジェなんてクズ肉になってバトラを焚きつける以外何の役にも立たなかったわ。家族愛とか兄弟愛とか私たちは全然興味ないの。私たちが見たいゲームはもっとえぐくてドロドロしてて
Dear.
グロテスクでポップでキュートな殺人事件だもの。
A cute murder case, okay.
夏日がキングでベアトがクイーンってとこかしら。 夏日をかばって群がる魔女と家具たちはチェスの駒というよりは
More like what?
ボーリングのピンって感じ。夏日にベアと金蔵にガラクタ家具の幻想たち、私たちを楽しませてみせなさいよね。特にベアと私たち、もうあんたには飽きてるの。あんたの魔女伝説殺人ごっこはもうおしまい。あんたの出番もおしまいってわけ。このゲーム版はもう私とベルンがいただいたわ。あんたなんて私たちの駒に落ちぶれて永遠に遊ばれてるのがお似合いよ。
Dear. These two.
夏日もベアとも薄汚い真実という腹渡を薄皮一枚で包んだだけのズタ袋だわ。
Guts of a filthy truth. What?
それをズタズタに引き裂いて中身を引きずり出すことこそ私の、いいえ、私たちの数少ない娯楽なの。
楽しく遊べるわよ。ねえ見てる？ベアトリーチェ、あんたのゲーム版はこんなにも楽しく遊べるのよ。私が見せてあげるわ。本当に楽しい第5のゲームをね。
No response.
私たちばっかり気持ちよく喋っちゃかわいそうだわ。ベアトにも喋らせてあげたら？
だそうよ。特別に発言を許すわ。
Interesting.
今回のゲームの抱負でも言っちゃったら？
Okay.
何もないって。そうよねそうよね。あんたバトルに屈しちゃった負け犬だもんね。私に任せなさい。魔女側優勢に一気に流れを変えてあげるから。ただあんたという駒はサクリファイスさせてもらっちゃうけどね。
非分も第一の番以前にあっさり解かれ、黄金の番人ベアトリーチェも型なしですね。
夏日の幻想として駒に残れてよかったじゃない。もうあんたの扱いは駒じゃなくてピンなんだけどね。
黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェなんてもう出番はないのよ。あんたとその家具たちは私のゲームではほんのちょい役やられ役。気持ちよーくすっ飛ばされて私とベルのおもちゃにされなさいよ。
嫌ならやめてって一言言ってみて。そしたらやめてあげるから。
Would you? Would it be a worse fate even?
嫌じゃないって。あんたピン確定ね。
There's no need for a golden witch anymore. All that's needed is a sacrificial doll, so the two witches can enjoy some time playing. Die, disappear. Confess to your filthy past and your crimes. Speak out your sob story of regret and repentance as you throw yourself off a cliff and die. The golden witch will never again have her turn. Ah ha 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 ha.
ベアト。
This will probably turn out to be a nasty game. On the surface it looks very similar to the usual tales. However, there's no respect given to the true main character of this story. This tale was supposed to be one that the Golden Witch Beatrice invited Shamir Battler to see. However, The host has been lost, and there are no longer any guests. The one who did the inviting, the one who was invited, no longer around in this horrible tale. Welcome to the 5th game. End of the Golden Witch. Welcome to a party with neither host nor guests, hijacked by wicked witches.
いいバトラー。いよいよ2日目を始めるわよ。私はベアトみたいにトロい展開は嫌いなんだから。
好きにしやがれ。お前が何をかき回そうと、俺は必ずこのゲームの真相にたどり着いてやる。
Do you then?
そうでなくては困ります。妹さんのためにもしっかり戦わなくちゃ。ご安心を。ラムダデルタ卿はベアトリーチェの間抜けと違い、はるかに恐ろしい相手ですが、私がしっかりサポートするので問題ありません。私と一緒に今度こそ魔女幻想を暴いてやろうではありませんか。
お前なんか知らねえ。ベアとのゲームにいなかった存在など俺は認めもしないし必要ともしない。
強がり言ってる場合ですか。まあお互いせいぜい頑張りましょう。一緒に魔女幻想とやらを引き裂いてやりましょう。
Erica offered me her hand to shake. Instead of just passively ignoring this, gave her a proactive and clear answer by knocking her hand aside.
握手は嫌いだそうよ。エンジェと同じなのね。
ご安心を。私はエンジェよりはるかに役立つ駒ですので。
That's totally not going to worsen the battler's opinion of human rights.
バトラさんの闘志を回復する以外、何もできなかったひき肉とはわけが違います。
頼もしそうな仲間に恵まれて嬉しいわね。かつてはワルギリアにロの上、エンジェまで来てくれたわ。そしてとうとうベルにエリカまで。あんたを応援してくれるクマたちはこんなにもたくさん。
Except where Vigilia and Renove are actually supporting him.
それでも未だに真相の尻尾すらつかめない無能っぷりってどんな気持ち？どんな気持ち？
関係ねえな。これは俺とベアとの戦いだ。その他の誰であろうと関係ねえ。
ああ、そうなの。やっと独り立ち？
Nope.
いっつも誰かに助けられ情けをかけられてばかりのあんたがどこまで一人でできるやら。楽しませてもらうわ。
取り戻すぜ。これは俺たちのゲームだ。お前たちはお呼びじゃね
え。ええ、そうよね。これはあなたたちのゲームだわ。なら取り戻してごらんなさいよ。
I had a thought. I don't think there's any chance it's actually true. But Battler is the child that Kinzo gave to be adopted as a grandchild. However, is Beatrice's son. Nah, I don't think that's the case at all.
手加減だらけだった。ベアとのゲームさえ勝てなかったあんたが、誰の助けもなく一切の容赦のないラムダのゲームをどこまで戦えるのか。
ではお目覚めなさい、後ろ宮バトラー。ようこそ10月5日の朝へ。
Morning of Tragedy, second day. Was it someone's alarm clock? An electronic tone repeatedly rang out through the room. Basler, who had gone to bed late and not managed to get enough sleep, covered his head with his blanket and waited for someone to turn off the alarm. But no matter how much time passed, the electronic tone didn't stop. I see. The point of an alarm clock isn't just to be loud enough to wake you, but to be annoying enough to keep you from wanting to fall back asleep. Hey, the alarm's going off. Make it stop, please. Why do waking up voices always get this annoyed? Well, it does make sense. Makes sense. After all, people were still sleepy and in a bad mood. However, there was absolutely no sign that my annoyed voice had caused anyone to turn over in their sleep, or crawl out of bed to stop the alarm. Letting out a deep sigh, I stumbled to my feet. With the shutters down on the windows, there was almost no light getting in. The room was as dim as it had been earlier, and perhaps the others have left already? Though, even without the shutters, there's no way this dull weather would let in enough sun to make this a pleasant morning. Never mind, the cousins are still wrapped up in their beds, sound asleep and taking no notice whatsoever of that beeping. Normally, once only one person gets up, the others tend to automatically follow. Annoyed that this law of serial summer camp awakenings that I'd made up had been broken, I searched for the source of the sound. I could hear it coming from a wristwatch set on the table. Judging by the style of the watch, it was probably George Anarchy's. Anyway, when I randomly pushed a small button on the side of it, the sound stopped. Apparently it had been set for 7 in the morning. Is it already 7? Sorry, I really don't feel like I slept at all. Oh, you slept about half of your required amount. Maybe probably a bit less, actually. Playing cards were left on the table as though they had stopped mid-game. The game had probably been 7s. What are the chances that they're already dead, and that's why this game was stopped mid-game? Oh, I guess the other possibility would be Rosa arriving and saying that Maria needs to go to sleep. Damn it, I've got this piercing headache. What the hell happened last night? Mountain of gold and subsequent argument between the relatives all feel like a bad dream. Breakfast normally came at 8. Now wasn't a bad time to start getting up and getting dressed. Even those adults probably won't argue in front of the cousins. In that case, I'll stay with my cousins all day long. I'm sure they'll be able to separate me from all this annoying talk about the gold and being the successor and all. In fact, I should have done this from the beginning. I felt disgusting having slept with my clothes on last night, which caused me to get all sweaty. Guess I'll take a shower. I'm sure the others want to as well. At this age, it's embarrassing to wake them by shaking their shoulders. If I turn the TV on, everyone will probably wake up. Well, let's at least turn the lights on for now. In this dim light, with the quiet sound of a never-ending wind and rain, it really doesn't feel like morning has come yet. Flip the light switch. And then, that dimly lit morning ended. They were dead after all? He didn't smell the iron? As they clung to Anaki's corpse, which would never wake up again. Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi cried.
もうおよしなさい。ジョージ君がこんな姿をお二人に見せたいと思いますか。思うわけがない。
姉貴、気持ちはわかるが、今は南條先生に任せるんだ。
あんたにはわかんないわよ。ジョージが殺されたのよ。
What about the others?
ジョージ
What about the others?
ジョージ
南條先生の言う通りや。ジョージのこんな無体な姿をいつまでも見ていたらあかん。ジョージのためにも今は耐えるんや。
And Aunt Eva tried even harder to cling to that corpse. Dad and Uncle Hideyoshi dragged her away and had a heated debate with her beside the wall.
いやよ、いや、ジョージ。
Thinking about it, the headache might be caused by the smell.
南條先生、手当てをして。
Wasn't really thinking about it.
血が足りないなら輸血を。
Already dead.
私とジョージは同じ血液型です。だからお願い。南條先生。
エヴァさん、お気の毒だが、今のジョージ君に必要なのはあなたの血ではないのです。
Dr. Nanjo shook his head slightly, then nodded across to where I stood, giving me a signal. I softly pulled the blanket up, covering George Aniki's corpse. His neck split wide open. It was probably larger and deeper than his mouth. Covering that part up make the corpse look neat and clean? Of course not. Large amounts of lost blood stained the bed a horrible red and black. And even covering him with a blanket couldn't hide the traces. After all, the blanket had large red-black stains. Covering him with it made his corpse look even more gruesome. I stripped the blanket off my bed and placed it on top of the first one. There were only 2 extra blankets, so if you covered one more of the corpses, we wouldn't be able to cover any more. I feel bad about the ones we can't cover. For some reason, times like these make me feel like muttering, "Don't complain about it being unfair," inside my head.
キリエ、みんなに毛布をかけてやれ。風邪をひいちまう。
Kyrie-san and I started covering the other corpses up to their heads with their blankets, just like George Aniki's, so they wouldn't have to undergo any more shame with their terrible wounds exposed like this. In one bed rested Jessica. Jessica was exactly the same as George Aniki. Though she appeared to be resting quietly in the bed, her neck had been sliced deep, with a wound laid open in a brutal way. Maria was the same. And not only Maria, there was one more victim. Lying on the same bed, as though they'd been sleeping alongside each other, was Aunt Rosa. George Aniki, Jessica, Maria, and Aunt Rosa. Makes for 4. 2 of the other 2. Maria Jessica, corpse discovered in her cousin's room on the upper floor of the guest house. The cause of death is unknown, but her neck was sliced open by a sharp blade. The wound was deep enough that anyone could easily confirm her death with absolute certainty. Exactly the same, I believe. Only difference is between his and her. Same here. Same here. Okay. In this room were 4 humans who had been killed, their necks sliced open. They'd probably been like that since last night. I'd returned without noticing anything, gotten in bed and fallen asleep. All of them had a horizontal cut across their throats. I had been forced to see all the way into the depths of those gashes in everyone's throats. At worst, the wounds might have been deep enough to stretch halfway through their necks. Try to open it up. Why would you do that? You'd probably be able to see the gash reached all the way to the bone. The only wounds were single gashes on each neck. So if you covered their necks up with your hand, you might be able to persuade yourself that they were merely sleeping. Even so, this frighteningly deep wound was incredibly gruesome. There's no way such a thing as clean or dirty. There's no such thing as clean or dirty ways of killing. All methods of killing are equally brutal. Even so, brutality here was just horrible. And There was one more thing that adorned these brutal murders, making them even more unsettling. Drawn very large on the wall was something like an eerie magic circle. It was drawn in a bright red paint that looked like blood. It made it look as though some creepy ceremony had taken place in this room, with the four of them offered as human sacrifices. However, that wasn't what we were concerned about. No one has a heart so cold that they could witness the deaths of those close to them, and still worry about some scribbles on the wall. Oh, she's smiling.
おはようございます皆さん
I'm going to get to the end of this line.
おやこれは立派な魔法陣で
I hope you've all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments, and until next time, see ya.